Hi guys, my name is Emma and today I have a guest with me on the channel. This is my dad, so say hi Dad.
Hello.
This is David and we have got something a little bit different today. So there's lots of videos that go around which are like boyfriend picks my TBR, pets pick my TBR, mum picks my TBR, things like that. And I was kind of chatting with Dad about this a couple of months back and mentioned that it would be really cool if he picked some books for me to read. But then we added an extra layer onto this, and I can't remember why. Where did this come from?
No idea. We probably after too much wine.
Yeah, too much wine, and we thought it'd be fun to black out the books so that I didn't know the title or the author at all. Because you get like a surprising amount of information about a book from like its title, its author, its cover, the blurb, all those kind of things. There's a lot of expectations going into a book. So the idea is that these are 4 books that you've picked for me for various reasons that we'll get onto in a second, but I know nothing about them going in other than what I can gather from like the pages. So it's a total blind reading, and then what I'll do is I'll come back at the end of the month and talk to you about what they were like, and we'll do like a big reveal so you can find out what the books actually were. So I am going to go away so that Dad can talk to you guys about why he's picked the books. You don't get to know what they are either. You're blind in this with me. And then I will come back and we'll do like a little wrap up and a goodbye. And then you'll get to see my reading journey across the month. So I'm gonna go away and let you talk to them. Have fun. And
Okay, it was 4 books that Emma wanted me to pick for her. I can't tell you about the author or the title, but we have book A here. This was a book that was first published in the early 1980s. I read it first when it came out then. Left a big mark on me, not because it's particularly earth-shattering, but it rounds the story off really well. It's a whodunit with elements of time travel in there, theology, philosophy, and really just tries to pull together a whole lot of ideas that at the time I was reading it seemed very, very good. The author has done an awful lot of research to actually make sure that he can pull all these threads together in a meaningful way. The ending is a little bit surprising, but works really well in terms of the overall consistency of the story. Overall, the book is one that I've read again. I read it again recently, and what I found on rereading it was that the author has clearly done an awful lot of research, but the problem is it can be a bit wordy in time. He's very, very keen on showing off just how he's tried to pull these threads together into a very, very coherent whole that you've got there. Like all of the books I read, it's not over long, it's just under 400 pages, so not too much of a challenge for Emma in that way. I don't think she will have come across the book before or come across the author before, so hopefully that will be quite a revelation for her there. The reason I chose it, she has her degree in philosophy, there's elements of theology in there, and I certainly know from other things that she's read that the idea of time travel and that sort of aspect will appeal to her. So I'm hoping she enjoys it. There we go, book A. Book B, excuse me, I just need to look at my notes here. This is an absolute classic, written about 50, 70 years ago, something like that, not entirely sure. It's a classic of its genre, and the author is one of those who is very, very well known. It's a thriller, crime thriller that you've got there. The work of this author has been translated into many languages and many media, as well as the novels that there are there. It's one that I think when she starts reading it will become fairly obvious from the amount of material that's around there, the other formats that these books tend to be in, and the breadth of the author's influence throughout this genre. that I think probably within the first dozen pages she'll certainly get the author and probably the title. I don't know whether she's seen any of the work or heard any of the work. I don't believe she's read anything by this author though, but I know she's been into sort of thrillers and crime, things like that. It's certainly not the blood and gore crime thrillers that can be contemporary now. It's much more gentle in many ways, but cleverly written, very consistent, some nice twists and turns in it, and again, I hope she will enjoy it. So that's book number B. C is a historical autobiography. European, not UK based. A very distinguished author who is widely regarded by many people. It's the first of a trilogy of his autobiography that there was. I don't believe the biography went on further than the three of them, but again, I could be corrected on that. Yeah, marvellous. I know Emma has mentioned some things about reading from this particular country and authors from this country as well. I'm not sure how much she's read of this. Again, pretty sure she hasn't read anything by this author. He did do more than just the autobiographies that I've just been mentioning there. Why did I choose it? Again, when I read it, it was it's something to me. It's quite historical. It's set 100, 150 years ago. Again, can't remember exactly how long, but there's aspects of the life that is being described that I could hear echoes in from my own parents and from sort of some of my background and seeing how things changed. So it was really interesting to read it, to see that sort of continuation of how things were into sort of paternal history and then my own life growing up there. Not to suggest for anyone for any second that the life described in the book was the life that I had growing up. It certainly wasn't in that sense, but there's elements of it. You can hear the echoes going back. So yeah, it has a resonance for me, and again, a different style of book, autobiography. Again, hopefully Emma will enjoy it. And the final book, again, one that I've read a couple of times, very powerful, a classic. Basically, it's an anti-war book, biographical, semi-autobiographical, people have said about it, has been translated into many languages and other media that we've got there as well. Very nihilistic in terms of how it looks at things with regards to the war, and yes, just very powerful. Again, hope she enjoys it. That's about all I can say of them there. They're books that I've read more than once, which is quite exceptional for me. I tend to read a book and then not return to it. So there's probably no more than a handful of books over the years that I've read more than once. These four are all books that have been powerful enough for me to read more than once. They've all left their mark on me. Some, like book B, for pure enjoyment. Others because they've got a bit more of a resonance, a personal sort of resonance there. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay, so that's that. Just in case anyone's wondering, I'm not going to watch what Dad says in editing. I'm just gonna like cha-chung. So hopefully you were concise and succinct and intelligent, unlike the rambling nonsense that I tend to be.
No, there's plenty of rambling in there.
Excellent. top quality rambling, and then I will probably like vlog me reading them, or maybe do like a reaction video or something to what Dad has said, and kind of sort of give you guys feedback about whether my opinions on the books match up or how closely or anything like that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it from us. So I'm gonna read those in the month of November, among other things, not just those 4 books, but I will get through all of them in the month of November, and then I will tell you my thoughts. And if you want to do something similar, then go for it, and like tag me and all that jazz so I can see how yours goes. And that's pretty much it from us. So happy reading, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you very much.